background, the Marvels were huge flop at the box office, and overall this movie isn't very well made movie, especially when you watch this movie storytelling and doesn't have any director flavor in this, although this movie it is directed by Nia DaCosta, who, by the way, said all this thing in her interview apparently, which I didn't hear. That means that looks like this morning Hollywood Reporter, they're printing this article on Nia DaCosta. And when I see this, I'm like, whoa, what? Why they're writing this now? That means that, of course, a couple of weeks ago, Variety, they came out and I guess they told the whole world that Nia DaCosta, she didn't even direct this Marvel's movie, which left audience to wonder that, whoa, if she didn't direct, who direct? Is that means Kevin Feige made this movie? Which, end of the day, put this movie even more bad light. That means, Kevin Feige, he's not capable of making good female movie. That is what it means, end of the day. That is why I feel like now Disney Marvel is once again asking Hollywood Reporter to write article on Nia DaCosta. Because, Hollywood Reporter, why would they write article on her? They have nothing to gain here. They want to be in good relationship with Disney. They're not gonna do anything unless Disney told them to. And I feel like Disney is telling them to write this. Put now, after all this time, Nia DaCosta under the bus. Although she did say all this thing in her interview, sounds like she said that this movie was not made for men, or I guess end of the day, this movie is not even made for women either. Although you shouldn't say anything. Now, I guess people will get blame. Then again, Nia DaCosta, she is really young. That she doesn't have any experience, definitely doesn't have experience directing such a huge blockbuster movie. After seeing the movie, of course, Marvel, Disney did interfere probably with this movie. It's not totally her fault. Then again, when you get inexperienced director like Nia DaCosta, that is what you get end of the day. But as the audience, we cannot even blame her, because end of the day, she said she didn't even direct. Sarah, this movie's failure blame will go to I guess at this point, we are finding out who we blame to. That means that the article like this, I saw on this article on Twitter, this movie is the highest grossing female, the black female directed movie other day. And I was thinking what? Why would anybody celebrate that? This movie is a huge flop in the box office history. Why would anybody celebrate this thing? This is really become joke. All these people are on Twitter. They don't go out and see this movie, because end of the day, I thought this movie will do good at the box office, but it didn't. But looks like now Disney Marvel looks like they were going to make more movies with Nia DaCosta. At this point, maybe they are letting her go, or maybe they're trying to cut with her. Because at the end of the day, probably Disney doesn't want to look like they fired this black female director. That is why I feel like they're asking Hollywood Reporter to write this article. So in this article, they're explaining why Nia DaCosta bailed on cast and crew screening. Yeah, that's right. And they're in this article, they're saying basically, which I didn't even know. I don't think anybody know that she apparently didn't go to this cast and crew screening held on November 8 at Westwood Fox Village Theater. Apparently, she had to go somewhere else for her birthday party or something like that. That means that is why I guess she was only seen on Las Vegas, this movie, the screening, which is, I find it really interesting. Because at first, Variety, they wrote this article on Nia DaCosta. She didn't even direct this movie. She left, I guess she left this project for another project to work on Tessa Thompson movie. That article dropped a couple of weeks ago. Now we are hearing this, and I bet maybe that means she didn't get along with people on the set. There could be. She's really young, and end of the day, I feel like for her to get this huge movie, which she didn't get, I guess Marvel got her, although she did her best, I bet. Or maybe that is what she knows. That means that whenever you see the articles like this from Hollywood Reporter, you gotta wonder why Disney is now, after all this time, coming after her. Why they are now coming after her? Why didn't they like see, like, she directed this movie? They could have thrown her under the bus earlier. They didn't. Now they're throwing her under the bus. That is very interesting, I think. Let me know in the comment what do you think this Hollywood Reporter is writing this article. I find it interesting. Now they're writing this. Why didn't you write this earlier? And that's my thought on this. Let me know in the comment what do you think about this news. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to other videos on other topics. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe. Until I see you next time, please take care.